honor BAMBDFEST. Shout out to the Black Arts Movement Business District Festival, and always hosting us and making sure that there is space for us to have not just powerful conversations but international conversations, and bring some art to us. Hopefully you'll get us a little bit of artistic treat at the end. um, I want to shout out our amazing matriarch visionary Iodele Nzinga for having the foresight and the wisdom and the courage to bring this powerful experience to everybody. BAMFest is a month-long engagement. There's virtual sessions, there's in-person sessions if you're in Oakland. It's art, it's spirit, it's all the things. So powerful. And we do it every other year during Black August. And the last thing I want to shout out is the organization I work for, Center for Third World Organizing, for co-hosting this series with us, so we can talk about. So we're this year we're talking about when spirit talks, right? And really, what I'm saying with that is like what happens when spirit talks, especially if you decide to answer it. And my assertion is that there is a connection between spirit, creativity, and consciousness, and ultimately that leads us to liberation, right? So welcome, my folks. These powerful women right here. So we gonna start. I'm gonna let each of you introduce yourselves. I want to know who you are and what you do in the world. Okay. So we're gonna start with Iakisha. You can take us home, like or take it away. Who are you and what is it that you do in the world?
Okay, well, I am Dr. Keisha Holly Johnson. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist here in Houston, Texas. But I'm more than a psychologist. I have so many titles that I think just really represent all that I do. I am a priestess in Ifa. So my Ifa name is Oiloye, Ifagbire, Oyabukolami, Ifantumiwa, Egbe Bokumi, Fagbemi. I am initiated into Ifa, Oya, Obatala, Egbe, and Egungun. I am also a shaman, so I do a lot of shamanic medicine practices. I'm a Reiki master as well as a crystal therapist. So I do so much stuff. I mean, I can't even, it's just so many things that I do. But what I like to say is that I'm a person that bridges science with spirituality. So I really try to do what, as far as just try to bring people into more knowledge of themselves by helping them to expand their consciousness. With your expansion of consciousness comes this whole new identity. And so I feel like I'm a person that helps to guide people into that new identity by helping them heal with all of their shadows and to be able to embody the divine within. And we can go on for days, but I'm going to let someone else introduce themselves.
That's right. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna pop to you, Pumzile. Who are you and what do you do in the world? And where in the world are you?
I am in South Africa, girl. Thank you so much for this platform. Sure, you know that question where when you say, who are you? You know, sometimes we define ourselves with our roles and all. But I will say, I am just a spiritual being. You know, I am a mother, I'm a creator, community builder, and actually a spiritual seeker. I don't think I am there yet because I think my soul and all is still yearning. But my work lives in intersection of storytelling. You know, I have a platform, Conversations with Upumzele, the girl next door, with people to come in and share conversations about themselves, their work in different spaces, what they're going through and all that. So healing and empowerment is part of what I do a lot more. But when I'm not, or when I'm curating a content, or organizing events or hosting intimate book reviews and all this, but I'm always guided by desire to create spaces and platform for transformation and actually for all of us to liberate our being, you know, and just allow ourselves to be in a moment when whatever you are and feeling and you are at this moment, what is that person? So for
Mm.
me, I think I am that individual. But hey, I do PR, marketing, communication. So I am that girl next door. And like next door, you are even next door, even if I'm in South Africa, but I'm your girl next door.
I heard that. Thank you, Boomsile. All right, we gonna go to Miss cardologist over there, Miss Priestess Oshun Femi. Who are you and what do you do in the world?
Well, I'm doing some of the same things, but my first response was going to be I'm a human being. I'm not doing anything. The more I try to do, it's like, ooh, spirit is reroute, or I might be in alignment. So just being the best that I can be in each moment is what I be doing. But Spirit has used me in various ways, and some of those ways are through motherhood, through cardology, which is a esoteric science combining astrology, symbology, and numerology, similar to tarot, but tarot was really born from basically the deck of cards that all Black folks like um, to handle and work with and play the game of life with, right? A Reiki master as well. Started off this journey of healing really with massage therapy. Um, I'm an author. I am a musician, a vocalist. Um, what else I be doing?
You're a priest of Oshun.
I'm a priestess of Oshun. I'm a priestess of Egbe. So many things, but when I was looking at all that, I was just like, okay, I'm a stabilizer, but I'm also a disruptor. Um, and I just assist on journeys of transition and transformation, using my voice, my words. However, usually it's some type of word form, right? Through my writing, again, cardiology, music, and so on. And I hold space for folks as well, workshops and different things. So
Yes, yes. Listen, there's so much synergy in this space right now. And I appreciate y'all because y'all all reflect me as well. So thank you. And we're gonna say the best for last. Miss Ingoyama, Miss Princess, tell us who you are, where you are, and what it is you be doing in the world.
Thank you so much for the invite and hello to everyone. Hi Pumzile, the girl next door, my neighbor. My name is Precious Tusi. I'm from South Africa. I am a healer. I am a teacher as well, meaning that I initiate people through wants to be sangomas. I do card reading. I do crossovers. I I think that I heal through just being around people so that I can be able to help them connect to the other world. I teach people how to also use different natural things to connect to the ancestors and their spirits. I'm a mother, a businesswoman. I'm also advocating for girls in engineering in the STEM industry because I have an engineering company in South Africa. And also, yeah, and that's basically who I am. Thank you so much to meet you ladies. It's just, the energy is too much. It's just, yeah, it's very overwhelming, but thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, so this question I added this year, a couple of months ago in my job, we do check-in questions and for our like staff meetings. And this question, somebody added it and I was like, oh, I'm using this question. I think it is such an amazing thing. But if you were an ancestor or once you become an ancestor, what is it somebody would have to say, do, bring to get your attention? If they wanted you to be listening, if they wanted you to do some work for them, what is it? So we done heard food. One of the South Africans said, "You better speak to me in indigenous language. Don't speak to me in English." Right? Like it was a bunch of. We've heard the gamut of things, right? Even to just call my name. So what if you were an ancestor, or once you become an ancestor, if I want your attention, if I want you to do some work for me or listen to me, what do I gotta do, bring, say to get your attention? And we'll start with Pumzile.
Yeah, you had to start with me. You know, this question is so deep. Before I can answer it for myself as an ancestor, I had to go back to the people that are lost. And I had to ask myself, do they ask for my attention? Do they try and get my attention? And if they do, how would I know that it is them? So the two people is my brother and my father, you know. And as I was like thinking and thinking, what would they do to get attention? And I had to go back to how my brother used to do it. And it was bizarre because it used to scare everybody in the house, like the whole TV, the whole lights, the loud music in the middle of the night, you know, because at that time I was still holding on to him. And I actually, until this question, I totally forgot, because when I let him go, when I stopped holding on, some of the things stopped. So now, when I was like, okay, now if I go on the other side and I know what I know now and what I've learned, you know, in the spirit world, what would be those things? So for me, one, I use candles a lot. You know, when I pray, when I pasha, and I use different colors all the time in different seasons. But that will be the first thing. If my folks or my kids and all that, if they would like, they would know. Let's say in April, as an example, when is my, you know, moon time, they would know the color of that season to connect to me, and not use any other, like to say, hey, mom, or something like. So that would be the first calling to say, oh, okay, they want my attention. But number two, they will have to be intentional by connecting to me. I wouldn't want somebody to call on me or want my attention based on I just want to talk to you. I'm going through this and that, but there has to be intention of how are they continuing with my legacy and things that one is fighting for, or what I've been teaching in the world, or things that I would want it to come out in the world to say, if you're going to go out there and change something or help others realize whatever they need to realize at that particular time, they can call on me and say, intentionally, this is why I am calling you. So that should come in, and it should always be rooted in love, not complain, not misunderstanding. They must know the person who I am as a being now. They must come with the same spirit to connect, because I think then I'll be able to say, yeah, but if you're going to complain, I don't know how to. When somebody calls and complains, I shut down. So if they're going to come and tell me this is not working, oh, I want to know this, or am I up? I wouldn't
You
get
ain't
it.
got no time for it.
No, I don't, you know, but
I heard
definitely
that.
everything
Okay.
they would be coming for, but it has to be not for them, but for the other and for the next generation. Then definitely they'll get my attention.
I heard that. Ooh, see, look, ancestors they be like, you got to come with it. We done have some answers. All right, Keisha, what about you? What would they have to say, do, or be, or bring to get your attention?
Well, anybody that knows me knows that I always have my head in the clouds. I'm an Aquarius, so I'm so cosmic. So they need to call my name. They need to call my name first just to get
Attention.
my attention, right? And then they need to sing. I'm so much, I love the voice. I love good music. So singing hymns, singing music that they know I would love. Um, chanting, drumming, something to get my ear, And then they need to be intentional. Ask me whatever it is that they need to know. Because again, I'm a big person about knowledge. So if you have questions about certain things, then I would definitely be there to answer whatever questions you have. And then I also download a lot of information. I download a lot of information at one time. So I have to always tell people, relax, because there's so much that's going on in his head sometimes. And it takes me a while to really transmute that information to you. So to be patient with me, because I can imagine that I would just be downloading so much stuff that'd be like, wait, that's overwhelming. That's overwhelming. Wait a minute. It's taking me a minute to integrate all this information, right? So yeah, but definitely the voice. The voice is going to be really, really big for me. And then lastly, food. Oh my God, I love some just great home cooked. Don't give me no Popeyes or nothing like that. I want some home cooked food because I want to feel your energy. I want to feel the energy
Mm,
that you put into that food for me. And
mm.
hot chocolate. Hot chocolate.
I heard that Bobby Ty said he wants some grits. He got a whole like soul food menu. I said, okay, Bobby Ty. But he said some cooking and some hot chocolate. I love it. Ocean Remy, what about you? What they got to do for you?
Oh, me and my friend was talking about this question. I was like, oh my God, it's such a great question. I might have to slide that one over this way too. But I had a really powerful experience with an ancestor, and really, this is all that resonated so deeply with me. Like I was doing looking up some names for my daughter's project when she was in second grade, and got all these names, and then my father's lady, she texted me two other names, and I read the first one and I read the second one, and it was my grandmother's great grandmother, and it just sent vibrations all down my whole body. And she was basically like, "It's about damn time." And
She's been waiting.
yeah, so me as a Gemini, another air sign, like say my name. And if you know my name, then you know the energy that I come with. Just like anybody who comes and books a reading, it's like, oh, you ready to deep dive into some ancestral work. You ready to do some work. So I'm not too picky about the offerings, but definitely showing some devotion. The thing that I saw visually was just sunflowers,
Mm,
but definitely saying my name and bringing some offerings and being ready to work.
I heard that. I heard that. All right. And Ingo Yama, what about you? When you become an ancestor, if they want your attention, what do they got to say, do, bring to get your attention?
I think for me, it's the question. When I saw the questions, it was very interesting because I get to meet people that don't understand why there's ancestors, all right, and the whole thing about why do I need to get initiated, and and I always say that it's a spirit, right? An ancestor is a person that used to live, and then there's a spirit that would enter your body. And I think with me, it's honesty. One, if they were to bring something, they need to have honesty and honesty of tradition, because as African people, we've got tradition. And the tradition would mean that whatever it is that I am doing currently as a traditional healer, someone else used to do it. And I need to do it exactly how they tell me to do it. Because now, times are changing. There's a lot of things that we see on social media, and that kind of also mess up a lot of people that go through initiation because they have got expectation from social media. And of which I always say social media is a game inside a game. So if you're not really locked up, you wanna do things that you don't know. So I think when I say tradition is understanding your family history. So
Mm,
with me, it obviously be my name. And then also our surnames, actually my surname, being able to relate and be able to speak or say the correct surnames so that they can reach out to even my forefathers before they can reach out to me, because I'd be obviously the last one that did or had a calling to make sure that whatever it is that we need to do on earth is being done. So that's one. And then also when it comes to bringing stuff, I think I'm also not really fussy. I always joke about it that I want champagne, but no. I think, I honestly, I think when I got sick, and I initiated, I said that this was the most painful experience of my life. I wouldn't want anyone very close to me to go through it, even though I initiate people. And I think that as an ancestor, I would really be very kind to whoever that's going to go through the same thing, who's my family member, because I know how hard it is. Because now you go to a teacher who needs to explain to you what is happening with you. I couldn't walk, but I did not understand. Doctors would not be able to explain to me what was wrong with me. But then it was mostly spirituality, and now you ask yourself, what is this spirituality? Because spirituality is linked to a Bible. And then they're like, no, now you've got an ancestor that wants something. And then who is this ancestor? They tell you a name that you don't even know. So I think with me it would be what I'm doing currently. I'm going to make it easier for them not to suffer or go through the worst as I did. So it would be very easy for me if they were to, my friends know, you light up a candle, everything, just light me a pink candle. Just get me a red candle, then you can be able to, and I'll speak through that, how the candle or the flame of the candle is. If I'm not happy with you, it's going to do this. Then you know that I'm not happy. When I'm okay with you, it's gonna be, calm. And then when I'm like, hey, there's something you're not doing, it's gonna be very sharp. So I think, yeah, bring a candle, then we can be able to connect, because I think light does actually connect spirits. Thank
Ashe.
you.
I love y'all. Y'all are so powerful. I have had so much fun with this question. I haven't really answered it, but I think the first day my kitten was in my arms, and so I said I need one of these. But definitely, if anybody wants to talk to me, bring a cat. You can bring any animal, but if you bring a cat, man, I'm like putty in your hands. I was thinking while I was listening to you, I want some watermelon. I definitely want some music. We had that Angelique Kidjo playing as we started off today. Bring me some music. If you want to dance, all of that will get my attention. Um, but I do think that you have to be authentic. I think that's the biggest thing is like don't sit in front of your altar with me with no airs. Like you got to come authentic and real. And I think that that's what I will respond to. Okay. So now let's get into something a little deeper. Or I guess not deeper, but a little more serious. So my assertion is that there is a relationship between spirit, creativity, and consciousness, and that when you put those together, it will equal liberation. And so I want to know what y'all think about that. Is it true? Is there a relationship between spirit, creativity, and consciousness? And what do you think it is? And will it lead us to liberation? Yeah, Keisha, I'm gonna start with you.
You would start with me first. Well, okay. So when I think about spirit, first and foremost, spirit's eternal. Okay. So spirit is our source, it is the source. Okay. And then creativity is an extension of that. It's actually our expression, of source. And then when you add consciousness to the mix, you're actually, consciousness is the awareness of source, right? It's the awareness of how your creativity or your expression of that source is. So then you have to put all of those together. There definitely is a relationship. Putting all of those together is actually what leads us to freedom, because we're able to get past the illusion, we're able to get past the ego, all the different falsehoods, and actually express what is authentic about ourselves.
Mm,
So, most definitely, I think, again, spirit is what is fueling the inspiration in order to uh, get to freedom. I'll just say it that way. And I'll leave it there. Let some of the other ladies expand on that.
love it, love it. And go Yama, I'm popping to you. What about you?
Let me just unmute myself. Thank you. I think for me, spirit is breath. And when you're creative, you are expressing yourself. That say that creativity is expression. And then when it comes to conscious is being aware, you know. So when I saw the question, actually, I was like, hey, you know what? Sometimes we talk about being deep and being rooted, and what is the root? And I think with my journey of spirituality and being a traditional healer and understanding ancestors, is that if you go into this and you don't even understand why you are called and what you need to do, then you're going to have a lot of problems when it comes to just being able to connect and actually help people, because now we all go for different things. And sometimes, I was asking someone, I said, what if whatever it is that we needed to do as healers, it's done? How do you even know that? So how do
Mm,
you express yourself and say that I think I am free? Because it's not, it's very painful, let's be honest. Healing people is very painful. You lose loved ones, sometimes you lose people that you trust, some people use you, but I think it's also how we really express ourselves. So I think with me, the you know breath is that spirit, and whatever it is that we do, we can be able to connect with another person and we express ourselves very nicely. Yeah, I think
mm.
that's it. I think so. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Ocean Femi, what about you?
Um, I think they are all one and the same. I kept thinking consciousness in terms of like my own personal consciousness, but then I kept just seeing just universal consciousness and creativity and really the balancing dynamic of this masculine and feminine, feminine and masculine, and that kind of playing together, which is creativity, which is spirit, is the balancing of it all. And yeah, it feels very much all the same to me. Spirit is creativity, is consciousness. Um, Maybe perception is involved in there as well, but um, it's the duality. It's the playfulness of the duality and how you see it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And Pumzile, what's up with you? What do you think? Is there a
So
connection? How will it lead us to liberation?
I think also with me, I think like what the ladies were saying, for me, it's very connected. One cannot lead without the other. As an example, spirit for me, it's like Ngonyama was saying, is breath, is air. I think that is happening around. So even if somebody's not telling you anything, or a phase in life is not saying anything in words, the spirit will definitely be the air that everybody feels it. You would hear it in language.
Mm,
Everybody would be talking about more or less the same thing. Then you know that the air that is within that time, that's the spirit that is in movement. Then creativity is now hearing what I hear or feeling what I'm feeling spiritually, or what everybody is feeling spiritually at the time, is then the language that you use creatively. How do you then start expressing whatever you're going through? I'll make an example. There are times whereby this will be possibly not a okay bad example or not bad example. There are times whereby there's like suicide all around,
mm-hmm,
and it's common at that time. And then everybody, when we start talking about it and expressing ourselves about what is happening and why is it, and how we feeling about it, and how we start expressing ourselves through whatever that is going through. So for me, and then creativity is then the expression of whatever the emotions. If we're going to talk about mental health, and how creatively, as an example, whether you use music, whether you use art, whether you listen to this and all that, and express whatever the emotions that you are feeling, or that you are taking out from the spiritual feeling that is around. And consciousness is now you within everything that's now the you that is, are you aware of anything that is happening around? And in your awareness, then what then are you doing? Then the alignment in all three joined is, now you're aware, what are you doing about it? What
Mm,
is then the movement of your awareness going forward? What are you teaching? What are you sharing? What are you based on when how the spirit moves, how then everything, the feeling that is in the world at that particular time that is needing you now as that individual who has a gift, who's living in a certain purposeful life that you lead. What are you creatively expressing? Anything that the
mhm,
spirit is talking or is saying around that time. Do you sleep and feel like, oh, okay, I hear it, but not doing anything about this? Do I close myself in? So, but definitely, I feel it's all in one and aligned. Not one cannot exist without the other. It's just like how open are we mentally, spiritually, physically, because you cannot even express in your body and all that if physically you're not within your spirit.
mhm. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, listening to y'all, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna veer away from these questions. I'm gonna come back, but something was coming up for me. I was thinking about everybody on here identifies as a healer,
Yeah.
is holding space, is community centered, is we're all black women, and spirit filled, and I started to think about illness. Illness has been brought up a couple of times, but illness, um, uh, the idea, me and Ingo Yama talk about this with my own journey about like healing the healer, right? And what's going on with me right now. I think about like how many black women suffer from fibroids, right? Which is like unexpressed creativity and trauma. Um, and how much is sitting on our shoulders. I think about the women in my family, and like, my family wouldn't I don't know that my family would have moved forward if it were not for the women in my family, right? um just how much we carry, but also like the negativity and abuse and the heart hurt and the things that get weaponized against us, all of those things, and we still tap into spirit, still heal, still give. And so I want to know, like, the real of being a healer. Like, what is it you carry? Why do you still do it? um um how do you take care of yourself? Like, how do you heal yourself? Like, who do you talk to? Like, who do you lean on, and what gets you through? And I'm not gonna call any one particular. I want to survive. So I want people to like speak up as you see fit, um with this question. But like, yeah, I want the real of it. Like, I said a lot, but whatever stands out to you in that, whatever you're called to answer in that, like, what's the real of you being a healer, a black woman, spirit led, the highs and lows, and how do you get through it?
Okay, I'll start because I unmuted myself. I feel that you are also actually tapping into something that I've been asking myself. Um, hmm, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna get emotional about this, but it's been over 10 years now being a healer, and there was a time that I was really overwhelmed about being a healer. And I think that because I think one of the ladies did say that I'm a human being, because now you carry a title of being a healer. People expect more from you than, like you always just giving, you know. And I started something and I said that I am tired of giving. I start receiving, and I changed. I said I want a spirit of receiving.
Mhm,
Maybe that whatever it is, I receive good news, I receive, but I just want to receive because I feel that now I'm pouring out from a very empty cup, you know. And when I started that, I realized that how I neglected myself
mhm,
through this title of being a healer, because it's I'm doing, something, but there's no one that's doing it to me. And immediately when I started saying that I want to start receiving. I would meet up a random person, doing grocery shopping. They'd tell me how beautiful I am. And I'm like, okay, am I? Because you start doubting yourself about a lot of things that you do because, a part of you is taken. I mean, even my kids, I mean, I've always said like initiates here in the house, and this year has been the most quietest. And I realized that I lost myself in the process of healing other people.
Mm.
My kids did not know their mother. I also did not know actually who am I in the process, and that's what I'm saying. This gets very emotional. But then I started to also starting to do now rituals to myself because now people would come through to me and I would heal them. And then I started healing me now, you know. And then I said that we and I Kai, we talk about our books that we need to still write. And I said that my book would be a journey of coming back home because I think that I've left home through healing other people. I'm not home. I'm outside
Mm.
somewhere because I'm forever connecting with different people. When I see a person that wants help, I'm always helping people. But what about me? So I started being, and I know that the word selfish, we tend to use it differently. I said, can I be selfless? I started thinking about me first. So even when a person would call me and they would book an appointment, if I don't feel like it, unfortunately, I'm not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
If it means that it's such an emergency, why are they contacting me when it's an emergency? It's their emergency, it's not my emergency. So I stopped doing that. When I'm in a happy place, I realize that's when I can be able to connect with spirit better. I can be able to connect with also people that need my attention and my healing. Oh, sorry. That's the burping, sorry. Sorry. It's my expression, obviously. Sorry. Yeah. So I think what I've learned really it was about changing, and then also I've got a gratitude jar that I started using, and I realized that everything is just turned like that. When I'm worried, I don't worry anymore because I'm like I'm gonna get something. So I think I started going through that journey of discovery and journey of healing me for the past years that I've been healing other people, and the relief in me. Yes, I get emotional, I get overwhelmed about a lot of things. I mean, my day would be, I think even Pumzile knows, I get so busy, but now I can manage it. I mean, there was one day, I think it was on Women's Day on the 9th of August, just to tell you guys, in the morning I had, was this, some hiking. I had a 9 o'clock event, at 11 o'clock event. I needed to drop off my daughter somewhere. I need to go to Bloemfontein, which is 3 hours, and do my traditional healing stuff. Got there at 12, left there at 3. Sunday, I needed to go to the airport. But then I was fine. I had to go now play golf because it was for business. By the time it was the end of the day, I asked myself, because now this is what I did not do before. Was it worth it? Did I need to do it?
Mm.
Because sometimes we do all of these things to just heal everyone, and what about us? So and then I realized that that's why I was not tired, that's why I was not overwhelmed, because I had to do what I needed to do, but I did because I wanted to as a healer. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that.
I think I can come in. I think on my side, as much as yes, I give myself the title that I know I'm a healer in what I do, but differently where I don't have people physically making appointment or booking or coming to me in general. But my being in the spaces that I'm always in, when you find you talk to somebody. So I get people calling because they say, after speaking to you, I feel better. Or I know when I speak to you, I'm going to get a perspective and all that. So I have friends, family where, I want to ask something. And also professionally, when you are that directory, you're when in marketing, planning events and all that, and people have seen you everywhere and with everybody. So if somebody's looking for a speaker, looking for a tent at this, everybody's asking you for something. So I had to, I think after realizing how I get so consumed with a call, somebody calling me for something, and I'll start feeling like, why are you calling me? Couldn't you Google this? Then I started knowing that, okay, I am not in a good place anymore of giving self, or you are invited to a space because they want you there because you are bringing color or vibe or whatever the case might be, and you're not even getting paid for it. Then I started, seeing those things and feeling tired when I get an invite board. But what I started doing for myself is pausing. I think, like what Ngonyama is saying, pausing and realizing that other things are not worth it. And the biggest decision that I made this year after 20 odd years of working in healing me and taking time for me was resigning from my job of 17 years, because I didn't resign because I got a new opportunity or yes, yes, yes. Precious is like, huh? Yes. And it's a big, everybody, when there's Pumzile, there's this company attached to my name. So there was no me without Pumzile, without the name of the company around me. So I was like, when you're carrying the company, because I served so much, each and every human being or contact that is coming at 7, then everybody will know your name and you will be that person that they call you for anything. I resigned because I wanted to take time for me, to find me. And thank God for turning 50, because it was like, God, I lived for 50 years. I think cut me a slack. Half a century. Hey, it's been that long. And that was me saying to him, just give me this time. I can continue to serve, but give me this time just to be here for me and do the things that I would love to do more so that I can pour out the best out there. So that leaving that company has allowed me to be able to, if I want to be home Monday to Friday and not leaving the house, I do that. I'm able to switch my phone off completely. So those are the things I started doing, and using I love the statuses, guys. Using the statuses where you put that not available, controlling self and controlling others. At first, I used that to control myself, to say, if I put that not available, so it means when somebody calls, I must not pick up because I already said I'm not available out there. Why am I picking up? But it started getting better. When I switch on my phone, I don't get 10 messages of people looking for me. Like, oh, this is working. This is working. Then with that, I think this one I'm thankful for my daughter, who helped me get into the self-care routine, your skincare, your massage, and all of those things that once a week you need to do something for you physically, that bath, that mask, those kind of things, just to heal me. By the time when I go out, when I'm with somebody, I'm always in good spirit to help others, or just to be me and just be easily available, because I'm always full, and not having this anxiety of jumping to the next and wanting to figure out finances, crying. So I wanted to take a break, but live, be alive. And then where I pour out, when I have my podcast and conversations and having the right conversations, healing, where I'm talking about how I'm feeling and I'm talking about my own healing, like we just wrote a book, Healing from the Mother Wound, talking now about those things, that this is how I'm healing and I'm still healing and this is what I'm going through. That's a way of healing self. Then I go out there and talk about those things. When I come back, I feel better.
I heard that.
Ashe, I can move right in. I'm really digging all the things that these ladies are saying. I can totally relate to it. Um, I think I came from a little bit of a different background because I came from the science background. So when I'm talking about healing people, I was coming from this head knowledge of Western psychology, Westernized medicine. And I remember distinctly, this was back in 2015. I got woken up at 3 a.m. in the morning. You know how that goes. And I just got the message, you have the medicine. You have the medicine. And I'm like, you have the medicine. What does that mean? I have the medicine. Of course, I know what to say. I know what to do. I have all this book knowledge, right? But what did that mean? You have the medicine. And that started me on this, what I like to call soul-led journey, just learning about myself, right? Learning about myself and what it is about me that I can actually translate and be able to help other people. And so I went through that whole process, and that's what kind of started me down the spiritual journey of the initiations and all those different things. And then the message changed from you have the medicine to be the medicine, be the medicine.
Mm.
So then it's now embodying all of these things that I've learned, right? So this took me down this process of still getting rid of the ego, number one, getting rid of the ego, getting rid of, again, the illusions, the falsehoods. There's a lot of shadow work that I had to go through and that I'm still, working through. Um, so that allows me to help other people, just again showing up in my authenticity. And so what I'm learning with this be the medicine is that I just literally have to show up. I
Mm.
don't necessarily need to say or do anything all the time. Just
Mm.
my mere presence helps with healing. Okay. And that's because I've learned about how to take care of myself. I've learned about boundaries, which is something that these ladies are talking about, right? Being able to create boundaries so that I can conserve my energy for myself first, and then being able to help others, right?
Mm.
So I think I'm still going through this process of embodiment, right? So that everything that I'm learning to be in regards to healing myself, then I'm able to extend that knowledge to everyone else.
Ashe.
I think that's the word. That's the word for me. Such a beautiful word, is embodiment. Because my the way my healing is set up, like it always starts with me. It can be no class, no workshop, no reading, no nothing. It's happening to me first. You know what I mean? And so the more that I lean on my ancestors, that's who I'm leaning on even more, um, in this moment. And like, okay, I'm giving this to y'all right now. Like, this is more than what I can handle. You know, the more clarity comes, and but anything that I'm offering, my cup is always full, because either I'm just in that mode, or spirit is like, that ain't happening. Go get in that mode. I'm gonna sit you down until then, and then you can offer that medicine. Then you can be the example. But yeah, I think because of my disposition, yeah, it's always been my healing first, which um, can seem like I heard the word selfish or selfless, and all the things, but it always starts with me. So
Ooh, one, I just identify with each of you so much. When you were talking Pumsile, I was like, that one turning 50, me and Pumsile were born a day apart. I'm April 10th. She's April 11th, right? So literally same year. And it is something interesting about turning 50, right? I was watching that clip with Taraji talking to what's her name? I can't think of her name. I don't know what, it slipped my mind, but Kiki
Kiki.
Palmer. Yeah, Kiki, thank you. And she's basically like, they gave you God gives you a certain amount of fucks to give, right? And that the older you get, the less you have. And when you hit 50, you just, and I was like, she ain't lying. She ain't lying, right? And I remember being young and dealing with older women and being like, "Woo!" When I get that age, there was something appealing about getting that age because they just didn't care, right? And I'm not even the age that they were when I was younger, but just being 50, I'm like, I just don't have it in me. There's just so much, and some of it is being sick, right? Like when you have to heal yourself, I don't have the space for a lot of the nonsense that I used to be able to entertain. Like there, you only have but so much space, time, and energy, and unfortunately or fortunately, other people's stuff just can't factor in because what I have, I am utilizing on self. Um, and even thinking about like you know, when I was, this is the Aries thing. Like there's something about being an Aries where everybody comes to you for the answer, right? I spent so much time on the phone counseling people and being and not realizing how drained I was by other people and their problems, right? I was the go-to. And most people don't call me and be like, "Hey, I really been thinking about like your health and what's going on with you," and like my phone, Spirit has made it so that my phone don't really, it's a few people I talk to regularly, but most people don't call and check in. I don't know if most people even know that it's hard for me to walk, right? Like that I'm dealing with like serious health challenges. But once I stop being the go-to person for people and their things, a lot of that a lot of that energy just shifted, and I get very few phone calls now, right? And it's not Spirit was like, this time period is about you. Everything is focused in on you. And to do that, Spirit just had to kind of like remove all the people and all the things. And I realized that I didn't have time not just to hear myself, but to hear Spirit, because there was so much noise being taken up with all of everybody else, right? And when you say Ocean Femi, that like it starts with you, like that you're man, like, and me and Ngo Yama talk about this, right? Like this journey that I'm on, I'm starting to realize what I'm supposed to be doing in terms of my full purpose, in life. And I know I won't be able to do that if I'm not healing myself. If I don't heal myself, like I'm practicing on me, right? And being able to heal from the inside out, so that I can assist other people on the journey. And I think what's beautiful, as hard as it is in this period, is that once I am in a more healed place, I hope that I still keep that. When you were talking about being selfish in Goyama, that I'm still centering Kairishi, right? That I'm giving my overflow and not my cup, because what I was giving was my cup and my reserves and borrowing other people's energy to give to folks. And because I'm an Aries and really I'm a triple fire sign, like I have so much energy, I was depleted and not even realizing I was running off of fumes because I had so much energy. So, yeah.
I
Although,
wanted to just pop in about this whole idea about selfish.
mhm,
I tell people all that because I hear that a lot. Whenever people talk about taking time for themselves, they're saying they don't want to be selfish. Selfish means that you're taking advantage of someone else in order to further your own self interest.
mhm,
Okay. You're not talking about being selfish, you're talking about self care. You're taking care of yourself. Okay. You're not
mhm,
bothering anybody else. You're not taking advantage of anybody else when you're trying to take care of yourself. So we want to just eliminate that word out of our vocabulary. Okay. It's self care. It's not selfish at all because you're not taking advantage of anyone else to take care of yourself.
you're
And
Just want
right.
thank you. Yes, can I just say something as well? I think you're actually quite right. That's why I think I highlighted that. But during the weekend, I went to Lesotho. Well, it's still the weekend, by the way. And someone said to me, please give me a herb for luck. And when the doctor was now talking, I realized that, and I said to this person, you are the herb. Because now every child is born with luck. It's things that we do to remove the luck from us.
Mhm,
Because in whatever it is that we do, I mean, obviously there's life and death and all of those things. I'm not going to get into that. But at the end of the day, somehow there is a point whereby we think that there's something that we can get from a person that we cannot get from us. And that's I think because I got initiated, and there's a way that we get initiated in South Africa or with African spirituality where you are forced to do certain things. You're forced to kneel down, you're forced to walk barefooted and all of that. And I've always asked, why do we need to do that? But then I got answers for others, and actually very interesting, and it actually makes sense. Like, for instance, I'll make an example. When you see another Sangoma, when the kneeling down is similar when you are a soldier or in the military, someone that is ranked above you, you say salute to them. So in the African tradition, it's actually like that. So you bow down. But now, what is interesting that I found out, and this was through a dream, is that the reason why we need to kneel down, it's actually that when you start your journey, you come with an empty crown. You are the queen. So every time when you kneel down, someone has a diamond to put in your crown. So it
Mm,
might be that whoever that you don't kneel down to, and sometimes not even healers, it's just a person that hasn't discovered that they actually have the power to heal. And you don't just say hello to that person, you don't kneel down to them. They only have the brightest diamond that you need.
mm,
So maybe sometimes we think that we are full, but actually the person that we least expect for them to just give us that spark is just next to us, or is even a homeless person for that matter. You just needed to say hello. And that person said, you look so beautiful. That's your star, or that's your diamond, or that's actually your pearl for that matter.
mm. I
You know,
say.
so I think for me with this journey, it's very revolving, and whoever who's also joining us today, my hope is that maybe that our stories are gonna ignite what they think that they know, and they must always go back to self, because you need to go back to self. And when you spoke about ancestors, is the people, the bloodline that made self to be self. I don't know if I make sense though,
Mm-hmm,
but yeah, thank you.
mm-hmm. Ashe. Okay, this is the last question. We're gonna close out with this. Um, I want to know what's at stake. Like, what's the risk if creative types, if spiritual types, if healers don't step up and lead in this moment? It's a whole lot of noise. It's a whole lot of nonsense. It's a whole lot of confusion happening. Um, and I said this I think last week. I was on Instagram a couple of years ago, and this black woman was saying that we're moving from the age of Pisces, which was all about belief, into the age of Aquarius, which is all about what you know for sure. And I think that when I think about what we know, creatives, healers, spiritualists, those folks are on. We are the ones that are on the pulse of like being in our knowing. And so, what's at stake if we don't step up and lead in this moment? If we are not living our purpose, if we're not doing the things we're supposed to be doing in the world, what is at stake if we don't do that? And we'll start with Ocean Femme because you popped up like that.
Oh boy. I'm going to say life itself is at stake. Life itself is at stake. If you're not, even if you're just inching along, you're still in motion, you're still doing something in alignment, until you gather that momentum for yourself to where you can speed it up. It's life is at stake. And I feel like, oh God, there's so much astrologically going on. You doing the astro, but it's been, touted as a spiritual revolution, a spiritual warfare. And so, us as spiritualists, we have to lead that because there's always another side, and if we don't show up and show out, um, we're gonna miss out, and we're gonna be, you know, faced with a different type of challenge. And so, I think it's essential to just do as much as you can for yourself, being that example, sharing your voice when you can, holding space when you can, doing those rituals, by yourself and community when you can, and really, like when they say, I'm my ancestors' wildest dream, like, again, that first question, if we the ancestors now, because now is all there is,
That's right.
What are we praying for them? So it's a lot is at stake without getting political or anything like that.
Ashe, Ashe. Pumzile, what you think? What's at stake?
Yeah, I'll say everything. I think I share the same sentiment with Osu. Think I got the name right. Life. I'm gonna move away a bit from healing and take it to something else like practical. If we don't do what we need to do, we lose a risk of losing almost everything, including the narrative of anything that we need to continue with from the generations before us to the generations to come. I'll bring it back to just at home. You know how as family or as kids, how your birthright, if you are born as a firstborn or there's a secondborn and a thirdborn, in terms of who you are in that family you were born in and your role and your reason for being there. And if you don't then wake up and do what you're supposed to do based on your birthright, you're losing everybody else that follows from you.
Mm.
So if a firstborn, you're supposed to be the first one and that first child who learns from the ancestors or from your mom and dad to say, these are the traditions, or these are the situation, or these are the values, or this.
Ah, we lost Pumzile and her Wi-Fi. Uh, yeah, Keisha, we'll go to you, and maybe we'll wait for her to come back.
Okay, wait for her to come back. Okay. I was going to say that we actually live in a world of duality. Okay. So we live where we're supposed to have creatives and we're supposed to have spiritualists, right? Along with this idea of people that deal with technology and greed and profit and all these different things. And so we actually need spiritualists and we need creatives to step up and be leaders, because right now we are in this world of, again, greed and fear-based paradigms. And so we need to bring that balance back. We need to bring that balance back. And so if we don't do that, then we're going to go deeper and deeper into the abyss of all of these things that we actually don't stand for. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're becoming, because we're in the age of Aquarius now, we're so technologically advanced that we're becoming disconnected. We're becoming disconnected from the soul, right? And so again, creatives and spiritualists bring that back. They bring the importance of that back. And again, to remember that we're in this 3D realm. This realm is about polarity. It's about balance, about dualism. So we're extremely important. That soul-led information that we provide is so important for the collective.
That's right. That's right. Thank you. Ngoyama, what about you?
Yeah, sure. I think well, Pumzile, unfortunately she's not here. But I think what if there's one thing that I've realized in the past 2 years in South Africa that's happening, TikTok happened. So TikTok happened and people are getting initiated through TikTok. And everyone thinks that they're a healer.
TikTok.
Through TikTok, yes, through TikTok. People do rituals that they don't understand through TikTok.
Mm.
And I think that even platforms like this is actually very important to educate people, right? Because I always say that we get initiated for different things and different reasons, and up until we understand why, we're gonna be fine, right? And now when it comes to TikTok, everyone thought that being a sangoma in South Africa, you're gonna have money and all of those things, very fancy, and young kids were now going to our, we've got different gatherings that we'd have, and they would have access to alcohol and all of that. And my thing has always been that people don't know our story. When I think about me being initiated, as I said, it was a very, very painful experience, from being like a staunch Christian to now being a traditional healer. But then I've realized that my journey of understanding God, of who He is, and the ancestors now, it makes sense, because I was actually telling someone now that we are in a there's two things that you're currently going through. Is either you're in a Isaiah moment or you're in a Revelations moment, because you are done waiting. Because Isaiah is like you trust God and everything's gonna be fine. Revelations, everything's just being revealed to the people that you thought they were there for you. Revelations of how powerful you are. Revelations of things that you thought you couldn't do. Now they are just coming to your way. So I think for me, it's that balance of understanding that you can still call upon God, but you must understand who God is to you, as much
Mhm.
as that we've got ancestors, and a lot of people have that thing that two cannot, I can't say work together, but you cannot believe in both. And I always say that I pray to God, but I practice something with my ancestors, and that has worked for me. And I've got proof of that, because now when we meet people, sometimes they would, I've got, I would say bad luck, because I don't think it's good luck when people want to be initiated by me because of the things that I have, and they want to probably get something similar to me. And I always say that it's not the same. They don't know. It's
Mhm.
really it's really tough, but nonetheless I think it's the education, having platforms like this so that we can be able to activate. And I think I want to say the word, is it osumifeni? Yes. When she spoke, right, and as a spiritual being, there is, I always say that there's something that you spoke and very soft. And throughout Women's Month, especially in South Africa, it's about fighting. And I say that, why can't you bring our feminine energy? And I felt that when you were speaking to us, you're like, you need to do that. I'm like, okay, this is very interesting. And I'm like, you know. And so I think that for Women's Month for me is that maybe you just need to stop fighting. Just be you. And your presence can just overcloud
Mhm.
everything. I'm an advocate for STEM uh, industry, and it's an industry that is male dominated, but I don't need to fight for that. I've been fighting with myself for such a long time to understand who I am, but now I'm done fighting, and I think that today for me was actually that, we don't need to fight. Feminine energy, understanding, and the more we are so real and honest about everything, about healing, about being called, because this is a calling. I
Mhm.
think the right people who are called for the good reasons would come on board, and then we will actually collaborate more than fighting. Tarisha, I've always had interest in your type of healing, and when you tell me like, oh wow, what are those beats about? Is that I'm always, I live in my own world, and I always say to people it's actually a beautiful world, because my world does not have negatives. I'm very hopeful in a hopeless environment. I don't panic. The spirit of panic doesn't exist with me, but I have a spirit of hope. There must be a solution to everything. So I think if we can be able to do that and have sessions like this, it's just unfortunate in my case that, as I said, that when it comes to TikTok, I try to do something to correct certain things. On Facebook, I was not allowed with my ancestors, because I was, in a way, going to be more like a target, because now I'm taking people out of business, if that's the right word. Because on TikTok, they're on business, recruiting all of this. And I'm now saying honestly that, wait, if it's your time, I think Pumzile knows me. Wait, if it's not the time to do this, don't do it. If it's a
Mhm.
matter of life and death, go get initiated. If it's a matter of life and death, if it's not, please don't do it. No, don't do it. Don't go into someone else's house. And also understanding why we need to be initiated, and how I think the doctor, when you explained your own healing and how you connect with science, I'm very intrigued about that. And I think that also it's very important to understand that even this healing ancestors can come in different ways, through, I mean, Pumzile spoke about corporate, through being feminine with Omofeni, through with Kaya, for Kaya Kaishi, through uh, being told to stop and wait and understand other things, you know. And even with me through pain, because I think that I operated from pain. And that's why I said that it's not going to happen to anyone that I love, because my initiation was about pain. And every time when I meet a person, it would have to be pain. And then I needed to heal myself. That's why when someone comes through and they tell me a painful story, I'm like, no, it's going to be all right. Let me tell you about my story. And then they see light. So it must be really relatable to the people. And we need to pray and manifest that we get the right people, so that as healers we can be able to heal the world, because we are called to do that. At the end of the day, we cannot run away from that. Maybe it's different ways, but we must heal people. And if you don't heal people, then who else needs to do it? Because we are called to do that. But
That's
thank
right.
you.
That's right. Umzile, you were talking before you got froze out, so I wanted you to give us the last word. We'll finish up with your thoughts.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, connected to a different Wi-Fi. And I'm like, what happened? But anyway, thank you so much for this opportunity. And then I think picking up from what Gonyama was talking about and what I was saying prior, to say the risk of not doing what we are supposed to do in our birthrights, in all the gifts that we are given, and in all the spaces that we are put in, we're risking losing everything. Even if it's not, when I say everything, it's not like the world will collapse or anything else, but it means everything that my mom, my grandmother, and my great great parents, instilled in the family, and I'm ignorant to it, I can't even take it forward. And then it means everything beyond that going forward is gone. That's why it's a big risk. So my last words would be, everything that we are trusted with, let's not be scared to be out there. And the power in our stories, I think the biggest thing is what we carry is the power in our stories, is the one that definitely makes sure that the world heals through your story. If you don't talk about your story, everything that has happened to you, and when people see you, like, did that happen to you? And they look at you living the life and still okay, then that connection heals somebody else, because they can know that it's possible to still live through everything that you've gone through. But I think I'm going to emphasize on knowing self, your birthright, and your gifts that you were given to come do, and make sure that you do that, you pass them on. When I was listening to the spiritual person that I really really love, on radio, was talking about the generation, to say, if there's three of you at home, the firstborn, the secondborn, and the lastborn, he said something so profound, to say the firstborn is the one that helps to give direction in the family from mom and dad in any bigger activity or whatever that's happening at home. And the secondborn has to be there to make sure that every direction or what needs to happen, they make it happen, they implement and all that. And the role of the lastborn is to make sure if people are coming in, it's the serving and all that. And I was like, how beautiful is that, if we could understand ourselves in our role and be present in them, to do what we like from home, before you even go outside of your community, your world, and
Mhm.
all that. If you lead at home, you are able to continue to do that. So I think for me, let's do what we're supposed to do, but let's know who we are and the spaces that we are trusted with, and we'll definitely heal in conversation.
That's right.
And
That's
Can I
right.
say some? Can I say something? Actually, Pumzile, sorry, you reminded me of something. I was doing a speak when we were doing a bra campaign for some girls last weekend. Something just came out of nowhere, and I was saying that, what if this is me, right? What if the whole thing about having generational curses were actually, as healers, operating from generational grace?
Hmm.
What if? Because we are different, some people would think it's a curse, or you're a black sheep of the family. But what if, as you're saying, it's grace, and the grace that we are doing right now, or maybe someone actually prayed for us to be like this, but because we don't even know,
Hmm.
we need to start maybe operating from being positive than being negative. Stop saying you're a black sheep of the family. whatever it is, just say I'm operating from. It's generational grace. And if it starts with you, it will be grace throughout whoever. They don't need to suffer. Like I did. I'm saying no one's gonna suffer after me. You must just bring champagne. I'm joking. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you all. This has been such a beautiful moment. I want to shout out our producer, Ashley Smiley. I'm sorry. I know we are going way over time, but this has been so juicy, so necessary, so on time. I'm so glad that I got to close out this month with you all. It's been a powerful month. Thank you to all of our speakers and guests that have been on with us. Thank you to BAMFest and Iodella Nzinga for hosting and having us. Thank you for the Center for Third World Organizing, C2, for co-sponsoring this event. These conversations are necessary. So I hope people out there, you're listening and you don't just absorb, but you go and have these conversations with the people around you, right? Like we're not having this just to make ourselves feel good. We want to inspire you to be thinking, talking, activating, and pushing forward, because it's going to take a collective effort. That healing, that necessity is going to take a collective effort. So thank you all. It has been a beautiful month. Thank you, Black August, and we out of here.